Welcome to Stoic Reflections, where we explore timeless strategies for self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and inner peace through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Have you ever experienced that strange moment when someone suddenly mentions something you were just thinking about, as if there's an invisible connection, a link we can't quite explain? Is it just a coincidence? Or is there something deeper, a subtle ability that we haven't fully understood yet? Like when a friend unexpectedly sends a message right when you're feeling lonely, or when someone you were randomly thinking about suddenly appears. Could it be that we're tapping into another dimension of communication beyond what we can see and hear? Maybe it's simply luck, but sometimes it feels like you can peer into someone else's mind. We finish each other's sentences and understand one another without needing to speak. Is there a hidden connection, a higher level of communication happening between us? Many people believe that mind reading is a kind of superpower, but in reality, it's a skill anyone can develop. From anticipating a customer's needs to knowing how to interact with your boss, cultivating an intuition about what others value can bring great advantages in life. Let's explore 7 practical tips to understand and read other people's thoughts. From body language and eye contact to intuition, these techniques will help you pick up on nonverbal cues and see what's going on in the minds of those around you. This isn't magic, but the power of understanding and observation. Tip 1. Observing the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and they can reveal a lot about a person's thoughts and emotions. When we converse with someone, their eye movements follow patterns that may indicate whether they are recalling information, fabricating a lie, or experiencing strong emotions. In Stoic philosophy, observing and understanding human signals is an important part of self-awareness and understanding others. From this, we can adjust our reactions, maintaining a calm mind without letting these subtle signals dominate our own emotions. When interacting with someone face-to-face, their eyes are the key to unlocking hidden emotions. It's no coincidence that ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Indeed, during a conversation, a person may try to control their words, but their eyes often struggle to hide the truth. Averted gazes are not just a sign of insecurity. They may signal an attempt to escape the conversation or even to conceal a lie. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on mindfulness and reason, advises us to be cautious of such signals, not letting emotions take over, but instead continuing to observe and delve deeper into their true motives and thoughts. On the contrary, direct and steady eye contact is often a sign of honesty. When someone focuses their gaze fully on yours, unafraid to look into your eyes throughout the conversation, they are demonstrating interest and respect. This is not just a matter of trust, but also a way to assert their transparency. For those who follow Stoicism, maintaining honesty in speech and action is a key principle. Recognizing sincerity through another's eyes helps us better understand their true nature. Furthermore, eyes are not just the windows to the soul. They are also a critical source of information about someone's current psychological state. Eyebrows play a crucial role in interpreting emotions through the eyes. When someone glances away and their eyebrows lower, this may indicate anxiety or that they are trying to think deeply about something. For Stoics, being aware of these signs is not about judging others, but about keeping one's mood stable and rational when understanding the emotional state of the person opposite. Conversely, when eyebrows are raised and the eyes widen, we can detect surprise or curiosity. This can be a positive sign showing that the other person is captivated by what you are saying, or that they are experiencing unexpected emotions, which may spark interest in the conversation. Importantly, for a Stoic, the goal is not to become too reliant on others' emotions, but to remain calm and listen attentively to grasp what is truly happening. The pupils of the eyes are another important factor when observing someone's gaze. When pupils dilate, it often indicates interest or excitement. The person may be feeling happy or in agreement with you. On the other hand, constricted pupils usually signal discomfort, anger, or anxiety. For Stoics, being aware of these expressions not only helps us understand others better, but also enables us to maintain calmness and rationality in the face of emotional reactions. Another element that not everyone pays attention to is the color of the eyes, especially the sclera, the white part. Red eyes often indicate tiredness, stress, or discomfort. Recognizing this can help us adjust our approach, respecting the fatigue of the other person and not pushing the conversation too far. This aligns with Stoicism, which emphasizes empathy and understanding among individuals. In reality, there are numerous examples showing the power of observing the eyes. Once, I met a man who appeared polite and well-mannered, but his eyes constantly darted around. After observing for a while, I realized that his gaze was not a sign of shyness, but a signal that he was hiding something. And indeed, after the conversation, my suspicions were confirmed when he confessed that he had a secret plan. This is the subtlety that eyes can reveal. When observing the other person, it's not just the eyes, but the entire face that holds a wealth of information. Facial expressions can help us better understand someone's true emotions. So, how can we analyze facial expressions accurately and skillfully? Let's dive deeper into this in the next section. Tip 2. Observing body language and facial expressions. Reading someone's thoughts is not just about listening to what they say. Body language, especially facial expressions, conveys silent but powerful messages that help you uncover the deeper emotions and true thoughts of the person in front of you. Through a frown, a smile, or even a fleeting glance, you can glimpse a world of emotions that words alone cannot fully express. Understanding thoughts through facial expressions is one of the first steps in grasping nonverbal communication. A person's face can reveal emotions they are trying to hide or cannot put into words. For example, you might see a radiant smile, but if you look closely, you may notice tension in their eyes, hinting that the inner emotions may not truly reflect joy. The way the muscles in the face move can be a natural response to a situation, even when they try to control it. Facial cues are key to recognizing a person's emotions. We often encounter sad faces with lips turned down at the sides, a clear sign of sadness or loss. Similarly, a genuine smile doesn't just appear on the mouth, but is also evident in the eyes, which brighten and squint when the smile is sincere. Meanwhile, wide eyes without a sense of warmth could indicate insincerity or another hidden emotion. However, to understand facial expressions more clearly, you need to pay attention to small details. For example, the space between the eyebrows when furrowed suggests confusion or intense thinking. A person's mouth can also reveal a lot. A pout may signal disagreement, while an open and relaxed mouth shows openness and a willingness to listen. Recognizing these subtle signals can help you uncover the truth behind words and know when someone is experiencing deep emotions. Not only the face, but body language also provides valuable information. Gestures such as crossing arms are often seen as a sign of defensiveness, while leaning forward can indicate interest or a desire to engage. A person's posture and how they maintain balance are signs reflecting their mindset at that moment. If you know how to decode these signals, you can easily read their thoughts without having to ask too many questions. Another important factor is context. We learn not to hastily judge anything based solely on appearances. In a specific situation, someone might seem uncomfortable or confused, but in another context, that behavior could simply be a habit or personal style. Observing someone's expressions and gestures over time helps you better understand their personality and communication style. To illustrate, Imagine a simple scenario. You meet a friend who seems calm, but a furrow on their forehead reveals they are anxious. You recognize this sign, and after a light conversation, they open up about going through a difficult problem. Your perceptiveness helped them feel understood and encouraged to share. This is also true for smiles and frowns. A genuine smile doesn't just stay on the lips, but lights up the eyes, while a frown often accompanies worry or confusion. Reading others through body language and facial expressions is not just a social skill. It is also a way to practice mindfulness and understanding, two core values of Stoic philosophy. So, have you ever tried reading others through their facial expressions and body language? Feel free to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Tip 3. Paying attention to verbal cues. Observing body language and non-verbal expressions is always helpful. However, to truly understand someone, we should not only rely on external cues, but also pay close attention to verbal signals. These are the doors to uncovering hidden intentions, thoughts, and emotions that others may not want or be able to reveal clearly. When a person speaks, it's not just their words that hold power. The way they speak and their choice of words also play an important role. Stoics understood that tone of voice is one of the most important verbal cues. A slow, hesitant voice may reflect uncertainty or hesitation, while a strong, confident voice can indicate determination and conviction. These signals, when recognized, can help you better understand the nature of the person in front of you without needing to analyze their appearance too much. A typical example of paying attention to verbal signals can often be seen in TV shows or movies. In these, characters frequently have scenes where they subtly remind someone else to speak or say something important. For instance, when a character clears their throat or uses gentle prompts like, "Isn't there something you'd like to say?" This helps the other person remember their task or something they need to share that they may have forgotten. However, it's not just these obvious signals that are worth noting. There are other types of cues we encounter daily that we rarely notice. These verbal signals may not always be obvious, but they carry a lot of meaning and make it easier for us to understand others' intentions. A common example is when someone starts a sentence with, "Now let me explain," which indicates they are about to provide important information, and the listener should be prepared to take it in. Or when someone says, "Let's review," they are signaling that it's necessary to recap previous information to reinforce understanding. These phrases are not just grammatical structures, they are signals guiding us to others' thoughts. Additionally, words like "but" or "however" are extremely important verbal cues. They often mark a shift or even a contradiction to what was previously said. For example, when someone says, "I agree with you, but," it's likely that the next part of the sentence will present a contrary view or a different perspective. If we are perceptive enough, we can immediately pick up on these signals before the conversation progresses further, helping us anticipate the speaker's true thoughts. A range of other verbal cues appears in everyday situations that we rarely notice. For instance, the phrase, "Pay close attention to what I'm about to say," is often used to request the listener's focus when important information is about to be shared. Or when someone says, "You have 5 minutes until," it signals that an action or change will occur after a short period. These signals are not always something we pay attention to, but they contain valuable information about the speaker's intentions and psychological state. Therefore, we need to train our ability to listen deeply, not just with our ears, but with understanding from our minds. Paying attention to these verbal signals not only helps us understand others better, but also helps us avoid negative emotional reactions and maintain calmness and patience, important virtues of the Stoics. Effective communication, in the end, is not just about hearing and understanding words, but recognizing and responding to the signals hidden behind those words. Tip 4. Using intuition and gut feelings. Intuition is the innate ability to know something without having to consciously think about it. It's often referred to as a gut feeling, when you just know something without evidence or explanation. A study found that people who trust their intuition are more likely to make morally right decisions. Although intuition isn't a skill you can simply learn in a day, it is one you can strengthen over time and through experience. Intuition is not merely an emotional reaction, but a combination of deep perception and focused attention. This ability allows us to pick up on subtle cues and respond appropriately in everyday situations. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about knowing one's mind, he wasn't just referring to understanding oneself, but also the ability to see through what others are expressing, often through unspoken yet powerful signals. Have you ever had that strange feeling that something seems off? It's almost as if you can sense something is wrong, even though there's no clear evidence. That's your intuition at work. Intuition is a powerful tool that helps you read others, as it allows you to hear things that words don't say. For instance, when you meet someone whose words and actions don't align, you might immediately feel that something isn't right. A person may speak softly, but their body language reflects tension, defensiveness, or discomfort. You might feel a vague sense of unease that you can't quite name. That's when intuition speaks up. Don't ignore this feeling. When something doesn't match between someone's words and actions, you may be perceiving a deeper truth. This is the moment when a Stoic philosopher must dig deep into their instincts and ask internal questions. Ask yourself, what is going on here? Often, the answer isn't found in what's being said, but in what's being hidden. Intuition is a type of non-rational intelligence that is incredibly useful when combined with reason. Stoic philosophy teaches us to balance emotion and reason, but that doesn't mean ignoring feelings. Instead, it encourages us to use intuition as a supplementary tool for awareness. When you have a gut feeling, don't dismiss it just because it's not based on clear evidence. Instead, use intuition as a guide and then delve into body language, tone, and behavior to uncover the truth. If you're in a situation where your intuition tells you something is off, pay closer attention to what is happening around you. Someone may be trying to hide something, and their body language will be the key to better understanding the situation. Remember, intuition is not a replacement for observation, but a powerful complement. It helps you read deeper into subtle signals that ordinary language cannot explain. The combination of intuition and understanding body language is a powerful tool. You're not just reading others, but also feeling their inner state. This is a refined form of empathy that not everyone can achieve. But with focus and patience, you can train this intuition to become sharper. Before we dive into the next tip, can I ask you a small favor? If you're enjoying what you've learned so far and happen to be smiling right now, please hit the like button. And hey, if you haven't already, consider subscribing too. Why? Because when you like and subscribe, you're telling YouTube, hey, this content is awesome. And that helps spread these positive vibes to more people who might need a little uplift, just like you. So let's spread the joy and ensure more people can join us on this journey of self-improvement and positivity. Now, let's move on to the next tip. Tip 5. Understanding micro-expressions. Facial expressions are one of the most important aspects of communication. Many actors spend hours in front of the mirror, perfecting smirks, frowns, and arched brows. But facial expressions have layers, and the smaller, more subtle ways we use our faces can make or break how we're perceived. These are known as micro-expressions, and understanding them is a powerful yet challenging skill. Micro-expressions aren't just tools for actors on stage. They're unconscious signals we display in everyday interactions, often beyond our control. With Stoic wisdom, learning to analyze them opens another door to understanding the human soul. These subtle facial movements, like a brief eyebrow raise or lips pressed tightly together, can reflect deep emotions that even the person expressing them may not realize. In the world of these signals, authenticity lies behind appearances. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Every event is the right one." Look closely and you'll see not just what is obvious, but what is real. This applies beautifully to micro-expressions. We don't just see what's on the surface, we seek the truth beneath. When you're face to face with someone, the things they don't say or can't say are often the most revealing. A big smile isn't always a sign of happiness. The eyes might be hiding sadness or anxiety. What's important is not just looking at the face, but seeing what's behind it. Micro-expressions are fleeting. A twitch at the corner of the mouth may signal frustration. A brief frown might reflect doubt or worry. These signs can be missed if we're not paying attention. But with focus, they become as clear as a silent language. To understand and detect these expressions, our brains need training, just like Stoic philosophers trained in patience and self-control. Mastering micro-expressions requires relentless observation and emotional discipline. It's not something learned overnight, but once you develop that sensitivity, you can grasp someone's true emotions within seconds. This is also a form of mindfulness and self-awareness, virtues the Stoics consistently emphasized. Learning to read these subtle cues not only helps you understand others, but also teaches you how to manage your own reactions and remain calm in any situation. As Epictetus once said, "What really frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but how we think about them. It is not the event, but our interpretation of it that stirs us." Similarly, the key to understanding micro-expressions lies not only in what you see, but how you interpret it. To do this well, context is everything. A micro-expression, if separated from tone of voice or body language, can be easily misunderstood. For example, slightly squinted eyes could signal skepticism, or it could simply be bright light. So always combine your observations with the broader environment to gain accurate insight. These expressions are the final pieces in a deeper understanding of someone's thoughts and emotional state. Think about empathy, not just listening with your ears, but perceiving with your mind. In every micro-expression, we don't just see muscle movement, we glimpse the inner complexities of the soul. By developing this skill, you're enhancing a high-level form of social intelligence. It's not just about what is said, it's about what is silently shown. And in learning this, you not only move closer to understanding others, but grow in your own emotional mastery. This is the essence of Stoicism: awareness, patience, and self-control. Tip 6. Listening for incongruence. Reading someone's mind isn't a supernatural skill. It's more like listening to a complex piece of music. Most of it flows smoothly, but occasionally there's a discordant note that feels off. In real life, that off note is incongruence. When someone's words, tone, emotions, or body language don't align. This misalignment is a signal, a quiet one, that something deeper is going on. And for the Stoic, this is not just about discovering truth in others, but also understanding the nature of human conflict within ourselves. When someone speaks, their body and mind often send out unspoken messages. These hidden signals help us understand what they truly feel, even if they're saying something different. For example, a person might say, "I like myself," but their posture is slumped, their face tense, and their voice shaky. The emotion doesn't match the statement. This is where incongruence begins to surface. Stoicism teaches us to become aware of contradiction, not just in others, but in ourselves. A Stoic often asks, "Are my actions, thoughts, and emotions in harmony?" That same awareness can be used to read others. When someone says, "I'm fine," but their tone is flat, their gaze is low, and their breathing is heavy, something isn't right. There's a disconnect between what they say and what they feel. Incongruence shows up in many forms: facial expressions, posture, tone, or speech patterns. If someone keeps changing their story or avoids eye contact while talking, it might not just be forgetfulness. It could be discomfort or hidden truth. A Stoic understands that all lies, even harmless ones, often stem from inner fear or insecurity. The goal is not to judge, but to understand, to recognize that every human, being imperfect, struggles with emotional conflict. Listening for inconsistency is a deep form of empathy. It means picking up on the mismatch between someone's outer behavior and inner emotion. It means asking, what are they not saying? Or what are they struggling to express? For example, in a relationship, your partner might insist everything is okay, but you notice them withdrawing, becoming unusually quiet, or easily irritated. That's incongruence, and noticing it offers you a chance to approach with care rather than accusation. This skill is valuable not just for relationships, but for your own growth. By training yourself to detect emotional inconsistency in others, you develop emotional intelligence and learn to manage your own reactions with calmness and clarity. The Stoic approach is to observe without reacting, to understand without judging, and to seek harmony where there is disharmony. Listening to incongruence is like reading between the lines. It helps you uncover truth, not through words, but through the tension behind them. And when you master this, you gain insight not just into people, but into the very nature of human experience. Tip 7. Developing rapport for mind reading. When it comes to connecting with others, harmony is the missing element most people overlook. It's that invisible thread that transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful relationships. Whether in the workplace or your personal life, developing harmony or rapport is often the key to success. But how do you create this unseen connection? In Stoic philosophy, harmony is not just about superficial agreement. It's a meeting of minds, a bridge between people that reflects their inner values and mutual understanding. To accurately read another person's thoughts and feelings, you must first build a foundation of trust. When you truly tune in to the subtle signals in their behavior, you're not just observing, you're understanding. This is the foundation of what many call mind reading, and it's something anyone can develop once mutual resonance is established. One of the first steps to building harmony is finding common ground. People naturally connect with those who share similar interests, values, or experiences. Discovering a shared passion or goal makes conversations flow more naturally and builds a bridge of trust. For example, during a conversation with a colleague, you might realize you both enjoy the same sport or are striving towards similar career aspirations. These moments don't just spark connection, they build the emotional safety needed for deeper communication. Another vital element is showing genuine interest. When you actively listen, not just hearing, but truly listening, you demonstrate respect. This attentiveness helps you pick up on the micro-signals others give off, a hesitation in their tone, a shift in posture, or a prolonged pause. All these are clues to what's going on beneath the surface. Body language also plays a crucial role. Open gestures, relaxed posture, and maintaining eye contact create an inviting atmosphere. A gentle smile or subtle nod shows you're engaged and receptive. These small gestures can make the other person feel seen, heard, and safe. Mirroring is another powerful technique. Naturally reflecting the other person's tone, pace, or posture without imitating them helps build unconscious alignment. It creates a feeling of, "You're like me," which deepens trust. But remember, it must be subtle. Forced or exaggerated mirroring can feel manipulative. Above all, empathy is the most critical part of building rapport. Stoicism teaches that true understanding requires putting yourself in the other person's shoes, feeling what they feel, without letting it overwhelm your own clarity. When you empathize, you don't just understand what they say, you understand what they can't say. Imagine you're at a family gathering. You notice a relative sitting quietly, withdrawn. Instead of pushing, you bring up a shared childhood memory, speak gently, and mirror their calm demeanor. Slowly, they begin to open up. Thanks to your patience, empathy, and attentiveness, you've helped them feel safe enough to reveal what was weighing on their heart. That's the power of rapport. It unlocks the emotional doors others are afraid to open. Developing this ability takes time, patience, and intention. But once you build it, you gain access to a deeper level of communication, where thoughts are shared without words and emotions are felt without expression. As we've explored, understanding people's thoughts through body language, tone, and intuition is not about manipulation. It's about awareness. And Stoic philosophy helps us do this with calmness, clarity, and integrity. By mastering nonverbal cues, you gain insight into others. More importantly, you gain control over your own reactions. This is the heart of Stoicism, managing your thoughts and emotions instead of trying to control others. That is true power. Your perspective is valuable. Which part of this video impacted you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know how you'll apply these Stoic principles in your daily life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Reflections, your space for mastering calm, power, and perspective through ancient wisdom. Tap the videos at the end of this one to continue your journey into Stoic wisdom and emotional mastery. And remember, reading minds isn't magic, it's mindfulness.